everyone, welcome back to the Zambian Sun podcast. I am your host, Kaz Mandala, and welcome to the first episode for the 2022 period. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're listening to the audio on Spotify, on Anchor.fm, or via Facebook's podcast feature, welcome. And if you're watching this via Facebook, our YouTube page, or on IGTV, hi. It's good to have you. While you're here, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. So for this first part of our podcast series, we are starting off with a series called Flashback To 2021, where I will be discussing with our project officers and our different heads of department to see just how the 2021 period went for them. And we are starting it off with none other than the lovely Annet Sonko, who is the Ready To Earn or R2E project officer. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Those are our fans.
Amen.
And
good morning, good afternoon. Thank you guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. As Cher said, my name is Sonko Annet, and the flashback of 2021.
Yes, please share with us just briefly how 2021 went for you. Any achievements, any challenges that you faced, perhaps some big highlights. I'm sure everyone is interested to hear that.
Yeah. Of course, there are a lot of challenges that were faced last year, and most of the activities were put on hold because of the COVID-19. That is because of the pandemic that is spreading worldwide. Though there are a lot of achievements and also from the same year. Despite the closure of schools and putting a ban on sporting activities during the period where the pandemic was really high in Zambia, we managed as a project to reach out to 45 girls who are going to benefit in the Ready To Earn project. First of all, the Ready To Earn project is a project that is empowering young women in the rural areas where we are operating to have skills. We empower them with skills like tailoring, agriculture. I will not say agriculture is a skill, but it is something they really need to learn so that they study about the soils and everything so that they can be able to sustain themselves as they grow. So most of these girls, the 45 girls, we selected 2 areas, and those areas were Jabalombe and Nyawa, where we selected the 45 girls, and the first batch, the 6, we are oriented through on how to start up a business, entrepreneurship skills, menstrual management. There are a lot of topics that we are carrying out, that we are training these young girls, and the hygiene. So this project, I can say it is one of the biggest success that I've had as a project, because we were able to find 45 girls. Because it's really very hard in the rural areas, because most girls get pregnant at the age of 14, 15, 16. But our project was targeting girls of 20 and 35. So it was kind of tricky to meet our target, because most of the girls had children, others had babies, so it was really not good on our side that some were left out because there were still breastfeeding mothers. But those who are enrolled on the project have been taken to school and they are learning. That is a very big achievement that we made as a project. And then we also, in line with that project, we have another project that is looking at people with disabilities. And in most cases, people with disabilities are already sidelined in the communities. But the project managed to reach out to over 140 parents and children living and children with disabilities, where these children were linked to social welfare, and they got Zapid cards. A Zapid card is a card that gives you access to government resources. So the children were registered, and then they were enrolled on social cash transfer. When the government has resources, these children or the parents of these children are given an allowance that they can use to push them during this period of the pandemic. So I think to me that is a very big achievement, whereby we've been helping parents to see that they appreciate their children despite the fact that they are living with disabilities. Another achievement would be like at least the perception of the community in regards to a girl child or persons with disabilities has changed. People they thought that a girl child, most especially in the areas where Response Network is working, those are the rural areas, hard to reach areas. Girls, when they finish grade 7, grade 9, they are married off. So this time round, we've held meetings with parents, local leaders, and civic leaders. We've managed to change the mindset of the parent that a girl child is supposed to, or is when she reaches the age of 16, 15, she's supposed to be married off. As I speak now, at least there has been a big enrollment in schools where Response Network has held meetings with parents and local leaders. Yes, and the chiefs as well. So those are some of the achievements that I've seen that we made as a project in 2021, despite the pandemic. But we managed at least to reach out to people and we sensitize them. We also actually sensitize them on the pandemic. And then it has led to improved the hygiene and sanitation in the rural areas, whereby each house now has a water point. No visitor comes into the compound without washing hands. They've put at least water and then they boil, because they don't have enough money. In most cases, they boil hash. Then they put that water so that it helps them. And we train them also to use spirit and glycerin, which is very accessible in the communities where they are living, because sanitizers are not accessible in the rural areas. But we told them they can use what is available in the community so that they see that the pandemic does not affect the community members. So that was also another big achievement. Then the challenges were, of course, where there is an achievement, there will be a challenge. So some of the challenges that there are communities which are very resistant to change. So even the head, the local leaders, like the headman, they're the custodians of the people. So if they don't extend the information to the people that they're leading, you find that the community will be reluctant on some issues that are affecting the people, because some of the communities are used to handouts, of which Response Network does not give handouts. But they give you information, the information that you can use to develop yourself. So we don't force people to get the information and utilize it, but we just encourage them, motivate them, inspire them to see that there is change in their communities. Of course, there are a few of them that are negative to development, most especially when you don't give them handouts. Then also there are parents who are having children with disabilities, because they know it's a curse. They tend to hide the children. We've visited some homes and we've tried to talk to the people in the family, but they were very resistant. They are very resistant. The woman is already frustrated because the family members were saying that it's an abomination. How could you give birth to a child who is disabled? So she's isolated, the child is isolated, but we've tried to engage the law and because we have where we reach also, and we hand over to the government to take its role. So those are a few cases like in the challenges. Then the lessons learned in those in the challenges is like where like we need to bring on board government officials who are working in line with what we work, so that they come, because if it is coming from the government has a strong say than just an organization. That's why actually we always work together. We complement what the government is doing, because the government may not exhaust everything, but we just supplement. We help them to push the work that they are doing further. Yes, and then my 2022, what I'm pushing or looking forward.
What is your, what are the key areas that you'd like to hit in 2022? 2022,
I think we are still continuing with the projects that we've been doing, but as the year is unfolding, we've laid out a list of activities that we'll be working with girls. You know, the projects that I'm working with, being a woman, it really gives me chance to talk to other women or to talk to the youth. And then I'm a living example, because I'm a fellow woman. I know the challenges, the problems that women are facing.
Yes.
There are a lot of things they are facing. So now, who is there to push their say? Who is there to inspire them? Who is there to see that they develop themselves also? 2022, we've laid a list of programs or projects that are in line with how they can manage menstruation, most especially the young girls, because some of them miss school because they don't have sanitary pads, but we are going to train them on how they can use their own and how can they, because those are sustainable, because in most cases some don't have money, so we want to focus more on menstrual hygiene. We also want to talk on empowerment. How are the girls going to benefit if they have their own knowledge? How are they going to sustain themselves in 2022? Because the world has changed. There's a lot of technology that is coming up, so we'll train them in IT so that at least they can know that if I need something, I can find it somewhere. So they need we'll train them in entrepreneurship, we'll train them in GBV topics, we'll train them in abuse, because some of them don't know that they even have a right to their body. No one has a right to touch their body. So we are going to look at such topics, because there have been a lot of pregnancies actually in the country as a result of COVID, because so many children were at home, schools were closed. So we need to look at such topics that are going to help these children to see that they become strong women who can speak for themselves. And we want also to see that we create confidence in these children. We give them a platform where they can air out their views, and their views can be heard and taken up. Yeah.
Okay. It's a very big undertaking, but a very important one that you're doing with your program, Annet. And I'm sure we all wish you the best. You're definitely a very tenacious woman. You'll definitely achieve everything that you set out to. Thank you. You have given us a wealth of information that I'm sure our viewers and our listeners can pick one or two things, and as they see our postings on our social media, at least they have a reference point to be like, oh, Annet was talking about this. This is what she was referring to. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. This is going to be a very brief series so that we can give you more content in as much as we can during the year. We definitely want to increase our RNN friends reach. So thank you for joining us. Please, before you click out, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave us a comment on what you thought about our topic today and what you think about the Ready to Earn project as well. And yeah, thank you for joining us on the Zambian Sun podcast, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.